In the heart of Paris, where high fashion is a symbol of wealth and status, there lies a story so remarkable, so unimaginable, that it almost feels like something out of a fairy tale. But this story is not of a glamorous heiress or a privileged designer. No, this is the tale of a homeless boy, broken, desperate, and discarded by society, who rose from the very streets to build an empire that would define luxury for generations. This is the true story of Louis Vuitton's creator, a boy who was once a forgotten soul on the streets of Paris. But what happened next? How did this boy, with nothing but his will and his dreams, create a brand that would become synonymous with success, elegance, and an untouchable legacy? Let's dive into this extraordinary journey, one that defied the odds, shattered expectations, and ultimately changed the face of fashion forever. Part 1. The Streets of Paris. It was 1821, and the streets of Paris were a place of contrast. On one side, the rich walked in their pristine clothes, their lives seemingly paved with gold. On the other, the poor lived in squalor, abandoned by a society that viewed them as invisible. Among the poor, one young boy's life was about to change forever. His name was Louis Vuitton. Louis was born in a small village in the French countryside. The son of a carpenter, he was no stranger to hard work. But when his mother passed away and his father remarried, young Louis felt more abandoned than ever before. At the age of 13, he decided to leave the farm behind and journey to Paris, hoping to find a new life. It was a journey that would take him months, walking from his village to the city, often going without food and sleep. Upon reaching Paris, Louis was just another nameless face in the bustling city. The streets were unforgiving to someone like him, a poor boy with no skills, no connections, and no place to belong. He found shelter in the poorest parts of the city, living in filthy alleyways and cold, damp corners. For weeks, he survived on scraps of food he managed to scrounge together, hiding from the police who roamed the streets looking for vagrants. But even in these dark moments, something inside Louis refused to give up. He wasn't like the others, who had resigned themselves to a life of poverty. Louis had dreams of something better. And despite the harsh realities of his life, he believed he could change his fate. Little did he know, Paris was about to offer him a chance he could not afford to ignore. Part 2. The Turning Point. It was on a cold winter day that Louis met a man who would change the course of his life forever. As he sat near a bakery, trying to warm his hands over a small fire, he noticed a wealthy gentleman exiting the bakery with a bundle of fine-looking luggage. The craftsmanship of the luggage caught his eye. It was different from anything he had ever seen, sleek, practical, and yet undeniably elegant. The man was Monsieur Maréchal, a renowned French trunk maker. His trunks were known all over Paris for their quality, strength, and beauty. Intrigued by the trunks, Louis approached the man with nothing but a spark of hope in his eyes. He had no money, no formal training, but he possessed something that Monsieur Maréchal couldn't ignore, a hunger to learn and a willingness to work hard. The older man was taken aback by Louis's determination and decided to take a chance on him. He offered Louis a job as an apprentice in his workshop. For Louis, this was nothing short of a miracle. His life had been a series of struggles and hardships, but now he was standing in front of a man who believed in his potential. The workshop was unlike anything he had ever seen. The room was filled with the sound of hammers, striking wood, and the rich scent of leather. For the first time in his life, Louis felt like he was in the right place, doing the right thing. As an apprentice, Louis worked tirelessly, learning the art of making trunks from scratch. He soaked in every detail, from the selection of materials to the precision required to create a perfect, sturdy trunk. Day by day, Louis grew in skill and confidence, realizing that this was the life he had always dreamed of, a life of craftsmanship, design, and creation. But it wasn't just the work that kept him going. It was the vision that began to take shape in his mind, the vision of a brand that would redefine luxury travel. Louis saw a future where his trunks would not only be practical but also beautiful and innovative. He dreamed of creating luggage that was lightweight, durable, and designed to stand the test of time. Part 3. Innovation and Ambition. By his early 20s, Louis had become an expert in the art of trunk making. He had saved enough money to start his own workshop and began designing trunks that were unlike anything Paris had ever seen. Louis was determined to create a product that would change the industry. He wanted to make luggage that was both functional and stylish, a perfect blend of innovation and elegance. One of his most significant innovations was the introduction of flat-topped trunks. Prior to this, trunks were typically round, which made them difficult to stack and store. Louis designed a flat-top trunk that was easier to pack, more durable, and more practical for travelers. This simple yet revolutionary idea caught the attention of Paris's elite, who quickly recognized the genius behind it. But it wasn't just the design that set Louis apart, it was his attention to detail. He meticulously chose the finest materials for his trunks, ensuring that each one was crafted to perfection. His trunks were not only functional, but works of art in their own right. They were made with luxurious leather, fitted with brass locks and lined with the finest fabrics. As Louis's reputation grew, so did his ambitions. He wanted to build more than just a successful business. He wanted to build a legacy. He knew that in order to stand out in a competitive market, he would need to offer something that no one else could. And so, he began to work on perfecting his designs, experimenting with different materials, and pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Part 4. The birth of Louis Vuitton. By 1854, Louis had established himself as a master trunk maker, and his business was flourishing. But it was not enough for him to simply be known as a craftsman. He wanted to create a brand that would be synonymous with excellence. Louis Vuitton was not just about trunks, it was about creating a lifestyle, a symbol of luxury that people would aspire to. In 1854, Louis opened his first store in Paris, at Rue Neuve des Capucines. This was the beginning of a new chapter in his life. It was here that Louis Vuitton's legacy began to take shape. The store was small, but it was filled with the finest trunks and luggage. Louis personally designed each piece, ensuring that it met his exacting standards. The store quickly became a favorite among Paris's elite, who saw Louis Vuitton as the epitome of elegance and sophistication. But Louis wasn't content with simply catering to the rich and famous. He wanted to make his luggage accessible to people all over the world. And so he began to expand, opening new stores in major cities across Europe and the United States. As his brand grew, so did the demand for his innovative luggage. Soon, Louis Vuitton's name became known all over the world. Part 5. Legacy and Reflection. Louis Vuitton passed away in 1892, but his legacy lived on. His brand continued to grow, and the trunks he had designed became the symbol of luxury and sophistication. Today, Louis Vuitton is one of the most iconic fashion houses in the world, synonymous with quality, craftsmanship, and innovation. But Louis's story is not just one of success and wealth. It is a story of perseverance, resilience, and the power of dreams. From the streets of Paris to the heights of the fashion world, Louis Vuitton's journey is a testament to the human spirit and the ability to overcome any obstacle. His life reminds us that no matter how humble our beginnings, with hard work, innovation, and an unwavering belief in ourselves, we can change the world. Louis Vuitton's name may be known today as a luxury brand, but it was once the name of a boy who dared to dream, even when the world seemed determined to crush him. And in doing so, he created something timeless, a brand that would outlast generations and inspire countless people around the world. Conclusion: Louis Vuitton's story is more than just the birth of a luxury brand. It is the epitome of the power of resilience. From a homeless boy on the streets of Paris to a pioneer of high fashion, his life teaches us that no dream is too big, and no struggle is insurmountable. Louis Vuitton's journey is an inspiring reminder that greatness is often born out of adversity, and that anyone, no matter their beginnings, has the power to leave a lasting legacy.